What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and today we are going to have a discussion about if expanded distribution is good, bad. So we're going to find out all the good, bad, and the ugly, and this all stemmed from the video that I released on stalking brands. So we happen to find a brand with books on several different platforms, so we're going to talk about the effects that this could have on your business, what you should be looking for, what you should or should not do, and a heck of a lot more. So we got a lot to cover. This is basically a thought vomit video, so I'm super fired up for this thought vomit. I hope you are. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, so we're going to talk about expanded distribution, and we're going to talk about, is it good, is it bad, or what exactly does it do? And the logic and reasoning behind what I've found so far is based off the fact when we were stalking the brand called Activity Slayer, we stumbled upon the fact that their books are for sale at Walmart. And we will also see what other sites they are selling on. But first and foremost, let's start with the basic understanding of what expanded distribution is, because this is something that I was also confused about at one point, particularly when I started selling on KDP. And I did about an hour's worth of research and then ultimately decided that I was going to uncheck expanded distribution and prevent my books from being distributed at other outlets. And my reasoning behind this is because I in depth went through the KDP seller forums and I found that there were a lot of people complaining about it, but I really never went into the details of as to why until now, where I've had a little bit more time to look through the details. But overall, what I found so far might be different from what you found. So this video is more or less meant to start some sort of discussion, as we can always put comments below. That way we can sort of figure out together as a community if it's good or bad for our book. So let's go ahead and start with the most basic understanding of what I can tell you about it is the definition that I found on KDP's official site. And as you can clearly say, to summarize how it works, is it basically says that other booksellers and libraries can purchase these paperbacks from large distributors. And if you enroll in this, your book will be available to these distributors based on certain requirements. Now, it doesn't clearly state all the requirements and it doesn't state what they look for, but based on what we saw that Activity Slayer is selling, it seems that some titles are more popular than others, and there's no logic or reasoning behind it, other than the simple thing, which I will point out when we do look at Activity Slayer books here again in a second, that I think it just depends. It really depends on how well the book sells on other sites or how well it's currently selling on Amazon. So these are the requirements. If you really have time, go ahead and look through them. It's nothing fancier than having an ISBN and then being a certain size of paperback book. And then other than that, it doesn't really tell you what else they look for. But it will give you a breakdown of what the royalties are to be expected. Now, I found a couple different estimates on a few other sites as to what you actually get paid, but since I don't have any experience using it because I elected not to use it, I don't have the exact numbers. So maybe somebody in the comments below can shed some light on to what they are seeing per book. And I think it really ultimately depends on what the price of the book is. All right, so with that being said, where does your book really show up? And to answer that point, one thing that I found really useful was a comment left by Tammy, who states down here that she's never analyzed the sales, but she just appreciates that little extra that comes in at the end of the month. She does check it off when she uploads all her book, but Amazon is very picky on what titles they accept. Now, all her books are not available on Walmart, although some are, and she has seen some available on Barnes and Noble. So we at least know that 2 sites for sure carry the books other than distributors and or libraries or places like that, but I've not seen or heard of anybody report of that happening. Now, another thing that Tammy did point out is she does believe that Activity Slayer is Go Lucky Press, as a lot of what they do is very similar. So that was a great answer from Tammy, and based off what she said, I started to investigate further and take a look at not only Activity Slayer's titles, but trying to see if I could find any logic and or reasoning or other places these books are distributed. So here's what I managed to find thus far. So the first spot that I saw a lot of these books, namely this unicorn book and that Halloween book that we showed in the previous video, distributed on is Walmart. And I went over to Walmart, searched Activity Slayer. It told me that there was a total of 43 results. And then I sorted these by bestsellers. And when I sorted them by bestsellers, here are the bestsellers on Walmart. And if we go back to the bestsellers on Amazon, we'll notice that it's completely different. The bestsellers on Amazon are almost all entirely Easter books, which just passed, and this particular unicorn book. However, the best sellers on Walmart are this travel book, which doesn't really sell too well on Amazon, this unicorn book that doesn't do too well, and a bunch of these puzzle books. Now, here's the other thing that I realized upon looking through these titles. And the way that I realized this is by looking at the total amount charged per book. So you'll notice that $6.97 is the standard price that they usually charge on Amazon also. And that was what came up here when I searched and sorted by bestsellers. You'll see many titles at $6.97, but then we get to this unicorn activity book, which is the 4th or 5th most popular book on Walmart for Activity Slayer. And if I click into this, as of earlier today, there was still 5 left. So it means that none have sold today yet, and we are at or around midday. So not too many overall selling, but here's the shocking part. This book is available for $9.85. And there is one other seller for $7.64 plus $5.91 delivery. And you'll notice that these sellers are third-party sellers. This is from the Book Pros, and this is from Bible Mega Mall, which basically means that not only are books being distributed through expanded distribution, which means Amazon is distributing and providing these books for Walmart to sell, but third parties are also drop shipping these books from the Kindle Direct platform on Amazon. So if you don't understand what that means, let me briefly explain it, because I did see a lot of comments back on the original video about Activity Slayer where people were saying, wow, my book is being sold on Walmart, I wasn't even aware, and the shit's gonna hit the fan. But the reality is most of you did allow Amazon to distribute these through expanded distribution, but some of you did not. So how do you tell the difference? Well, it's pretty simple. You jump into the listings or the books that are being sold of yours on Walmart, and you look at the price. If the price is anything more than what the price was intended to be, then you scroll down here and you take a look at who the seller is. If it is Walmart, it will clearly say Walmart right here. But this case, it's the Book Pros. So the Book Pros is drop shipping your book off of Amazon onto Walmart. And what that means is essentially they are stealing sales from Amazon, and they are stealing sales from you. You could very well do the same thing for your books on Walmart and make available those books that KDP elects not to have put over here on Walmart, and you could have the entire catalog of your books on Walmart and make a little extra yourself. So that's how I would go about and do that. But that's how you tell if it is truly Amazon which is selling your books, as opposed to a third-party drop shipper, which it's happening quite a bit. In fact, it even makes me think of setting up an entire Walmart store just selling nothing but Kindle books, and then upcharging a couple bucks plus shipping just to make sure that I make a couple dollars a day. You could literally upload thousands and thousands of books to Walmart and do this, because my guess is that many of the Kindle titles that are available on Amazon are not available on Walmart. So this provides a tremendous opportunity for a lot of books that are selling well, because there is no rhyme or reason why some books show up on Walmart and some do not. And the final and best example that I can give you of how this happens is this book right here, which again is from Activity Slayer. It's 365 jumbo activities, and if we click into there, we'll notice that not only is it $21.95, but it's sold and shipped by Web Delico LLC. And if we click into that particular book, we'll see that there's only one left. So in order to be able to tell how well this does, what I would do is I would track if this book sells, and or if that other unicorn with 5 left sells. Give it a couple days, see how many are left in their inventory, and that's how you can determine if they are actually selling these books or not. And again, those are drop shippers that are buying it off of KDP on Amazon and then sending it to their customer via Amazon. They're buying it on Amazon, it's getting drop shipped to the customer, to the Walmart customer once it is sold. All right, so now that we know what's going on, now we know if our book is either being put through expanded distribution, and you will know that whether or not you did check off the checkbox or not, or if we found out that our book is being drop shipped. Let's talk about a couple other things that Amazon is doing, and then we'll wrap it up. Ultimately, to find out where a book is being distributed through, the best way that I found to be able to determine this is to click into the actual book and then run down here at the bottom, grab the ISBN, and then just throw it into Google and see where it pops up. And that's where I was able to find many of the titles on different sites. So we'll notice that it's certainly on every single Amazon site that there is. Here is Japan, here is Germany that we talked about the other day ago. Here's eBay, and I don't really know if the eBay one is a third party, but here's India, and then here's this site called YouBuy, here's Canada. I'm not sure which this one is, but I would go into each and every one of these sites, click through them, and figure out what where they're coming from. This one's Mexico, this one's Italy. So it's being offered all over the world through Amazon. Here's Paperback Swap, which I'm not sure what that is, but several sites that Amazon is offering it throughout the world. This one in particular is not offered on Walmart, nor is it on Barnes & Noble. Again, very simple business model that you could put this book on Walmart if you so wished. Now, the last thing that I wanted to point out is one instance where I found where Amazon does something completely different. Take a look at this Christmas activity book right here, which is available on Walmart.com, and it is priced at $6.46, which is a really odd number because most of these books are $6.97, $7.97, and then there's the here and there $21.95 or $9.85 drop shipper that is trying to make a quick buck or two. But this one, completely opposite from what we've seen thus far. And when I went and searched that on Amazon, I noticed that it looks like it was either stopped at $5.12 or it's placed on sale for $5.12. And then as a result, they adjusted the price over here on Walmart. So they made this still slightly less cheap than what it usually is available on Amazon, but it's still more expensive on Walmart, which is excellent because I did see a lot of the comments where people were bad-mouthing expanded distribution, and one of the biggest complaints is that sometimes it is available for a cheaper price on the third-party sites, and then you get sellers that jump on your listing and sell this at a lesser price than you have. So two of those instances right now are the 6 new from $4.50. The fact that it is $4.50 on, I don't see any other ones available here for $4.50, but it says 4 other options. Like, these are not $4.50, but at some point there seems to have been some available for $4.50, and those more than likely will sell before yours sells because people see a cheaper price. So that was the biggest gripe that people had, aside from a lot of other things. So just pay close attention to when that happens and understand if your sales dip, there might be a reason for that. It might be priced on sale at another third-party site where it's available in addition to Amazon. So at the end of the day, what is the answer to the question of is expanded distribution better or worse for your books? And the reality is I cannot answer that for you since I have not tried it too much myself. I don't have it selected on anything, and all I've seen about it are really bad things and really good things. Things like I get a little extra every single month. So at the end of the day, I think you have to test it on some of your titles and see what happens. But if for any reason your sales go down, I would start to investigate each book individually on the internet and see where else they're available. Like I said, the chances that they are on sale somewhere else. So again, questions, comments, so let's start a discussion about this. You can also always post them below. I always personally answer whatever I know the answer to, but other than that, I'll see you guys next time.